How can giving food to someone who is hungry actually hurt them? Before we answer that, we need to look at how we define poverty. Many people define it as a simple lack of material things, not enough food, money, clean water, medicine, or housing. But when you ask the materially poor to define poverty, you'll hear things like, I feel inferior, I feel ashamed, I feel powerless, I feel less than human, I feel like I cannot change my life. These feelings of shame, inferiority, and powerlessness are only made worse when we give handouts of food and clothing to them. No father's dignity is restored by seeing people providing things to his kids, things that he was unable to provide on his own. Poverty goes beyond the material and cuts to the core of how they view themselves, psychologically and socially. We often misdiagnose the problem or treat the symptoms instead of the underlying illness, and our help can actually be harmful, preventing them from getting better. That's when helping hurts. But the truth is, we are all poor. Everyone. We are all in need, because we all experience brokenness in the 4 fundamental relationships of life: our relationship with God, self, others, and the rest of creation. These relationships are the building blocks of life. It starts with our relationship with God, the one from which the other 3 flow. Our relationship with self. We are created in God's image and have a high calling to reflect God's glory. Our relationship with others. We are made to love one another, know one another, and encourage one another to follow God's calling. And our relationship with creation. God created us to be stewards, to manage the world and sustain ourselves. But because of the fall, sin entered the world, and all 4 relationships were broken. Our intimacy with God was replaced by a fear of God. Our relationship with self went from a sense of dignity to feelings of shame. Our relationship with others went from community to conflict. And our relationship with creation went from joyful work to toilsome labor. Everyone suffers from the effects of these broken relationships. So we are all impoverished in the sense of not experiencing these relationships as God intended. It may not always look the same across the world, but we all share the same desperate need for Christ, who offers hope that what is broken, both inside us and around us, will be restored. Yes, sometimes we do need to provide food to people, but poverty alleviation is so much more than that. It involves reconciling the broken relationships at the root of poverty. It means taking the hungry person by the hand and saying, I'm hungry too, but I've found the bread of life. He can provide the lasting help that you and I both need. Until our view of poverty changes, any help we offer is likely to do more harm than good.